While I was downstairs last night, did y'all take an offering? Great. Okay. Mitch, lest I forget, why don't we go ahead and do that? Billy and Mitch and Don May, would you help them? And let's go ahead and receive our offering tonight for our speaker, or what happens is the time gets away and we forget. And Mr. Roberts, you come right on.
Well, thank each of you for courageously coming night after night. I know that some things have been said that might almost appear shocking, and some things that perhaps you haven't weighed before, and you wonder why the odd direction of things. But I want to assure you again, everything I have taught you this week has been standard doctrine in the church in healthier seasons. In answering a question with some friends at the supper time, I mentioned the fact that the main core of evangelical churches in the United States in all of the early years had a very similar practice which they held to with great earnestness. They had a statement, and the wording would vary some, but all of the Baptist and Presbyterian and Congregational churches, which are all practically speaking identical in the things that really matter, when they really hold to the things that they claim that they hold to. But they all had this kind of a statement about church membership. Membership in this church is severely limited to those persons who can give credible evidence of regeneration. Long ago, before I was married, and just before I launched into the itinerant work, I was pastoring a liberal congregational church in Portland, Oregon. They had never had an evangelical pastor. And by the grace of God, we had on the fourth Sunday a stirring that resulted in 11 conversions of church leaders. And from then on, the church just radically turned around. But a few more weeks into that ministry, I had a phone call one day from a man whose name I didn't recognize, and the call went like this: Henry Mendenhall here. My wife and I wish to join your church. I said, Mendenhall, that's not a familiar name. Do I know you? Have we met? Oh, no. Have you been attending services? No, never. And yet you wish to join the church? Yeah, certainly. Would you mind if I came to your home to talk to you? So I went to their home. And they welcomed me gladly and restated, we wish to join the church. Well, I said, let me explain something to you. This church has been very, very careless all of its history, and has made no attempt even to live up to its own standards. But now I'm enforcing the Constitution of the church. And the Constitution says membership in this church is severely limited to those persons who can give credible evidence of regeneration. Can you? He looked at me. He said, I'm an attorney. Well, as I found out later, he was not only an attorney, but the vice president of a big shipbuilding company in Portland, Oregon. He said, I'm an attorney. I know what the word credible means. I know what the word evidence means. I think I know what the word regeneration means, but I assure you, I don't have any idea what those three words put together mean. Ah, I said, then you see, you can't join the church. Well, he got quite upset. I thought churches were looking for members. Oh, I said, some churches are, but I'm looking to help people. And it wouldn't help you to join a church. What do you mean? I said, what you need is the Lord, not church membership. Well, if you don't want us, go on. We'll go somewhere else. Oh, I said, wait a minute now. You've asked me here, give me a little opportunity to ask a question or two. All right, go ahead. I said, we've obviously never met, but you don't strike me as the kind of a person that just flips from this to that to another. I'm going to take it as a given that when you called about church membership, you were really very serious. Oh, yes, he said, we certainly are. Now then, tell me why you suddenly decided to join a church. All right. He said, you see, both my wife and I were married before and divorced. Now, we're married to each other, and we had two very small children from our marriage. And we've been bringing them to your Sunday school for the last few Sundays. But Sunday passed, when I brought the girls in, the lady who's, I suppose he said, in charge of your little children was groaning because she had no piano player. The piano player had just called in sick. And he said, well, I play the piano some. Mind you, not anything you'd use in Sunday school. But if you had a book, maybe I could help you. Oh, wonderful, she said. Sit right down. We're ready to start. There's the book. So he said, I began to play. I went to Sunday school once in my entire life. And the song they sang, Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. That's the song she asked me to play. And I came home and I said to my wife, I'm 50 years of age. I've missed something wonderful. I want to join the church. And she said, I'm 40 and I've missed something wonderful and I want to join the church. Ah, I said, that's what I thought. Now, will you take an assignment from me? What? I said, I have a little booklet in my pocket. I'd like to give it to you and ask you to master it. He said, I don't agree to anything until I know what I'm agreeing to. Why? I said, of course. What's that booklet? I said, it's an offprint of the Gospel of John. Oh, what do you mean by master? I said, go over it and over it and over it until you can honestly say, I believe everything it says and I've done everything that I'm asked to do. And he said, give me that book. I like the way you do things. So I got up and they escorted me to the door. And as I was going up, they said, you'll be hearing from us.